wa class, so nimeongezwa kwa prefect's body, so I can address the school, I can take my leave, I can take my soup, I have a cubicle. And of course, the guy who had been blacklisted never to be a prefect in Form 1 got his chance to be prefect in Form 2 in a department that did not exist. It had come to be. And I can tell you, by the time nilikuwa natoka Form 4, nilikuwa nimeenda functions mingi za hiyo shule, mpaka a point driver wa shule aliwahi niuliza, kwani wewe ni betri ya hii gari? Nikimuuliza akaniambia, hakuna mali gari imeenda bila wewe. And yes, every function, hata kama ni zile vitu za sijui traditional dance, nilikuwa na ndio ni collect news za shule. News za shule. Kila funky, kila I would go. Hata wakati tunaenda tuka meeting to Rudy, I would go. But by Form 4, I had trained 3 other boys, and they were doing good jobs in that department. I left that place reinvented from the boy who had been blacklisted in Form 1 for mishandling a captain. So, what was my point number 3, if you can remember? Find a new strategy. I identified that this school does not have a journalism club. I got to give them the journalism adventure, and they gave me the leadership that I wanted. Number 4 was know your friends. Know your friends. Hapa ndio kuna ngori. Today, we are not friends that we were 10 years ago, 5 years ago. The truth. And I will tell you why. Sahi, ukipigia beshte yako, I know you have phones, by assumption. Mimi nilipata simu yangu ya kwanza after Form 4. But I know yours could have come earlier, anytime. Kuna wale najua wako high school na wenye wako college. So, this time, ukipigia rafiki yako, more often than not, atakuuliza, oh yeah, sasa utafanya aje? Hiyo ni noma. Manze, all the best. Do you deal with such people? Unamwambia kashida, ume-explain mpaka umekuwa emotional, mpaka unafanya, alafu anakuambia, hiyo ni noma haki. Alafu unasikia anakuuliza, sasa utafanya aje? All the best. And that is it. And it happens so many times. The friendship that was there, director can tell you, Washi can tell you, Eric can tell you, the friendship that was there back then, ilikuwa ile urafiki ya, what can I do to make your situation better? Ma'am, sindio? Friendship hiyo time ilikuwa, what can I do to make your situation better? What can I do? Si ati, guys, sa utafanya aje? It was, what can I do? Na wajua siku hizi watu wanasemanga ati ndio nisaidie mtu lazima nikuwe na pesa mingi. No. Sometimes kusaidia mtu is as good as listening. Ukae tu hivyo msikize, aongee, alafu avurute. Anyway, hiyo, it is powerful. And I'll give you an example. Aki tumebakisha 4 minutes. Kumenda aje? I'll give you an example. This is what happened. I was once seated with a guy. Jamaa fulani alikuwa strong kwa kanisa. Jamaa strong. Unaona wasi wanajonga VOP yote. Jamaa unasemanga tu Jeremiah 33 verse 3 anakuambia, call unto me and I will answer you and I'll show you great and hidden things that you did not know. Sijui. Unamwangalia hivi, unaanza kumwangalia John 11:35 Jesus wept. Anajua jamaa alikuwa sawa. And he was so good, and everybody thought he's fine. He was okay. I noticed one thing about this guy. He had started avoiding meetings zenye tuko nazo. Meetings kama hizi ana avoid. Na ukimuuliza anakuambia nilikuwa busy. So I decided to sit with him. Nikamkalisha tu tukakaa. And that time I did not even have ability to afford tea. So I told him tuende tu tukaa hivi tusikize tu pepo vile inagonga. So huko Kenhat kuna kunga na kauwanja kakona mbele kidogo, mali kuna kwa na uwanja ya football, alafu wa Sudanese ucheza huko sana. Na pia uwanja kuna watu fanya workout huko, lakini it overlooks Clayworks. So unaangalia Githurai 45 kutoka hiyo uwanja na kuna kwa na upepo nzuri sana. So I walked with this guy and I sat with him and I listened to him. He told me about God. Nikamsikiza. Mimi namsikiza tu, yeye anaongea alafu akaniuliza, and why does God not acknowledge what I'm doing? And that is the moment the guy broke down and decided to speak what was going through. Yeye kwa nyumba alikuwa hajakula. Akikuja church ameng'ara, anasmailia watu. The meal that would keep him nile nye wamama wanaweza muita, we mtumishi, ha, kuja tuko na kashapati hapa hivi, unakulanga pia mbosho, kuna getheri pia na uji, sawa kunywa. And that will keep him until the next time he is able to afford a meal 4 days later. That guy was avoiding the people because he was not sure which clothes to wear. He did not even have soap to wash his own clothes. Did I help him? Good question. In your mind, do you think I helped him? Miss Nado, I just listened to him, akamaliza na akasema nisisikie story na mtu wangu. Mimi nitajua vile nitajipanga. And we walked back and he went. Do you know what I did? I just went, sat down and asked myself, what can I do in my capacity as an individual to help him in the situation? So mimi nikaenda nikaambia wazazi, mimi nataka tu sabuni, unga, mchele na maharagwe ya kupika. Wakaniuliza unapeleka wapi? Nikasema tunaenda, kuna time tunakunga na ka meeting ka youth na huwa tunachelewa. Nataka nitumie hiyo kupika. And they gave me. I delivered those things to the guy. Kufika amefungiwa nyumba. So where do I deliver my things? I don't have a mobile call. I can't find him. I simply kept those things mahali room nilikuwa nakaa until I could meet him. And by the time I was offering those things, luckily, we had talked with the youth leader and 2 other people. We ensured this guy had rent for the next 6 months. We ensured the guy had food. And we ensured we will check on him on, unaona vile tumejipanga hivi. Sikuwa na mcall daily. Mimi ni mcall leo, Nicole apige kesho, Beryl apige Wednesday. Hivyo tukiona kila mtu and we will check on him. And he was back to the team. No embarrassment. Nobody knew whatever had happened. We just checked on him. We just showed him love. That guy maintained his strength in the church to date. What would we have done when if we would have allowed him, guy, aukuli, hii mzee ni hard, so na survive aje? Anata renta una yeah. Akitu nubaya sina pesa, ningekuwa na pesa, lakini Mungu atakuona, atakusort. The friendship that we have nowadays is not as it was before. But what can we do? Know your friends. By knowing your friends is knowing the people that you can count on when nobody else is there to count on. Now, how do you know the people that you can count on? It is as simple as being the person somebody can count on. Tumeelewana? How do you know the people you can count on? It is being the person that people can count on. If you become the person that people can count on, people will become people you can count on, because automatically if you emanate positivity, positivity comes back. If yours is negativity, unashinda tu ukisema hata kunanga huruma. Hata hapa hivi watu usikizwa ni wadosi tu. Hata watu wenye walisomea national school ndio usikizwa kwa hiyo ambassador. No. Your ability to be a person who can be relied on is what guarantees you an opportunity to meet people you can rely on. So I want to quickly get to reinventing myself. How do I do it? Now, simple. Reinventing, as I said, is taking a new path, doing a new thing about yourself, changing who you've been to who you want to become. These are the 5 awesome steps that you are going to take to reinvent yourself. Step number 1. The question is, how do I reinvent myself? How do I become a better version of myself? This is the 5. I'm just giving you 5 trusted points of getting you where you want to be. Number 1. And take this one very important lesson. Make a list. Hivyo tu. Make a list of what you want to achieve. Make a list of what you want to achieve. I've told you a story about me being a journalist in school. By Form 4, I had been identified by Nation Media House to be a journalist in that company. So mimi nikaambiwa ukimaliza Form 4, hiyo following week ukuje Nation Media Group. Following week. Now, quickly, my head got very quick. By the time I was finishing Form 4, I was 16. So I was turning 17 nikitoka Form 4. Ndio nilikuwa turn 17. So, here goes the thing. 17, nipate kazi Nation Media. Unajua vile Nation Media, wakati ilikuwa na kina Ken Walibora, kina Nimrod Tabu. Mna get? Sasa mimi ndio naenda Nation Media at 17. Now, quickly, nikapiga hesabu za haraka, nikasema by 25, hiyo ni miaka 8 nitakuwa nimefanya job. So by 25, I will get married. 25, Mtu amejipanga. Nikaongeza list yangu nikasema by 30, I will have my own house. Mnaona vile kamenda? Alafu nikasema by 35, I will have 2 children. By 37, I will have a car yenye number plate yake imeandikwa Okari. Na nikasema by 40, when life begins at 40, I'll be having a full apartment. Naangalia hivi nasema that is my property. Kuna kitu inaitwa character development. Mnajua? So, by the time I'm finishing Form 4, that was in Thika High School. I finished na the last prize giving day yenye ilikuwa pamoja na prayer day. Nikashinda awards 4. Best in English, best in Swahili, most improved student in terms of discipline. Nakumbuka nilikuwa na discipline case Form 1, so ikanipea zawadi Form 4. Alafu nikapewa pia captain of journalism and mass communication. So, in that function, the guest of honor was Linus Gitai. Linus Gitai was the managing director, Nation Media Group. So, mdosi wangu upcoming, ndio huyo. Na akaangalia akasema, this guy is talented, this guy is good. Hiyo time ndio nile time nilikuwa nachukuanga microphone naanza, ifuatayo ni taarifa ya habari, kwanza mukhtasari wake msomaji. Goosebumps. I tell you. So, the meeting was ready. Next week, tukitoka tu shule Form 4, naingia Nation Media Group. So, on that Monday, I got nicely dressed and went to Nation House. Zile nyumba mbili zinakaanga na zebra. Si mnazijua hizo Nation House. So, I got there, nikafika. Nikachukuliwa bana na security. You are Okari, please come. Ni mimi ndio nimefinyiwa lift. Watu wangu nafinyiwa lift. Okay. Up we went to the 13th floor, I think. Tukaingia. Kuingia, I met a certain guy called Mr. Owino. I will never forget Mr. Owino in my life. Because he welcomed me nicely, allowed me some tea, asked me for my ID. Nikamwambia I am just turning 17. Akaniambia, okay, so you're still a minor, okay. So, long story short, I want to cut it very short. Ingekuwa ile time ya 3 hours, ningewapea story yote vile kalienda. Lakini vile mmechelewa na wapea short version of it. This is what happened. Ni trailer by the way, nika trailer. What happened? So Mr. Owino told me, very good, you're welcome. Because you don't have an ID, you will need what we call a media pass. A media pass ni kama ka identification kako kakukua kwa hiyo media house. Then on Monday we will put you in what we call ilikuwa inaitwa media lab. Media lab ni training ya journalists. Nikaenda media lab, before hata nifunzwe nikapewa mtihani ya kwanza inaitwa vocal test. Vocal test ni kuongea tu kwa microphone hivyo na usikike kama unakata words. Nikagonga hiyo kitu nikapita vizuri. Nikaenda kwa kitu inaitwa teleprompter reading. Teleprompter reading ni watu wakisoma news inapitanga hapo mbele na hizo words. So kazi yako ni kuisoma bila kufanya hivi. Unaona hii? Uisome hivi na uangalie hivi ukisoma. Teleprompter reading, nikapita hiyo. Nikaambiwa sasa you are ready for media lab. Wait for 2 weeks, we prepare your journalist pass, then you come back. And we are ready. After 2 weeks wadau, nilipiga simu. Nikaambiwa we will take another 2 weeks for that. 2 weeks zikaenda, nikapiga tena na ni simu ya madhe natumia. Nikaambiwa sasa the Mr. Owino is on leave, but haitaweza, but itaweza tu akirudi. Now I waited for 3 months. 3 months nikienda shule kuchukua documents, wananiambia how is Nation Media? Si kila mtu anajua nilienda Nation Media. Si they know. Nawambia iko vile ilikuwa. Sijaito bado. It went that way. I never went there. Eventually the journalist pass never came to pass, but according to the management, they knew I am already an employee. So you can guess what happened. Good. So, long story short, nikaenda nikaingia University of Nairobi. But what was my dream? To still be one of the best media personalities. So I went there and took a course in Bachelor of Arts. I did communication and Kiswahili. Double major. Soma communication, soma Kiswahili. Na mimi nakwambia di translations zenye nilikuwa nafanya kwa documents. By Form 4, the team comes again. You know the team that was handling the media lab? They come again looking for journalists from University of Nairobi. Who qualifies? Your guess is as good as mine. Did I still get there? No. It was not there. But I put on my list that I want this. Well, I am no longer 25. I am past 25. I didn't get to marry at 25, as I said. I don't have my own house as I get to 30, and neither do I have opportunity for an apartment now. But did my list change? It did not change. What has changed is my timeline. So make your list. As you make yourself better, have your list. Don't lose the focus. Number 2. Number 1, nilisema have your list. Number 2, face your fears. Face your fears. Let me tell you one thing about reinventing yourself is there is a lot of fear. You're not sure whether you will manage it. You are not sure whether you can handle it. When I was going for an interview back in 2016 in the company that I still work at, nilienda huko, sijawahi fanya job kama hiyo. Nilikuwa nimegoogle tu. Niliona wako na job, nika google. Hiyo job ni gani? Una google kwa Google inamaanisha nini? Alafu nikaenda interview. When I got there, I sat there and I knew very well I cannot qualify. Hata people zangu haziqualify. Mimi hata sina work experience, lakini nimekuja. Now, the panel guys asked me. They asked me one very simple question. What makes you think you can do this job yet you have no experience? I told them, as I was leaving university, I was given power to read and write. So I have come here with no experience, but I'm ready to learn. In the next 3 months, if I am not the best you have, I am not willing for confirmation. So nasema in the next 3 months, before you confirm me as a permanent employee, make sure that I'm good enough for you. In 3 months, I was training guys who are coming in for that job. What does that mean? I faced my fear and I got that job. How many times have you been held back by your own fear? Feeling that you cannot make it, you are not capable. How many times have you? Number 3. Very important. Take a step back. Number 3. Take a step back and assess the situation again. Take a step back and assess the situation again. This is what I mean. Sometimes you can be working, there's a way that it is usually said, happiness is like a butterfly. When you keep chasing it, you will never catch it. But the moment you turn your focus elsewhere, it will land on your shoulders. Most of the time, we are working too hard on something that the time for that something has not yet come. You understand? You're working too hard to get somewhere, You're working too hard to get somewhere, but it is not yet time for that thing. So what you end up doing is you get frustrated. For example, I'm giving you life examples zangu. Mimi sipendi kupenda za watu wengine juu wanaweza nisu. Zangu. Let me tell you. There's a time unafika, unasema I need to do this. But you don't have the capability to do it. But you keep on insisting you want to do that thing. I get frustrated. And personally, mimi ule mtu hujijudge sana. Why am I not getting there? And that is the moment that you start feeling incapacitated. You start feeling like you are failing. But when you take a step back and ask yourself, by the how far have I come? Do you know that some of the things that you're enjoying now were your prayer items some time back? Zile vitu zenye una enjoy saa hii, kuna wakati zilikuwa wishes. There's a time, wacha niwape example yangu. Kuna time niliwahi chapwa. Na nawapeana tu examples za life tu. Niliwahi chapwa. What did I get beaten for? Simple. Kulikuwa na chama kwetu. You know chama hii ya kina ladies merry go round, eh? So kulikuwa na chama kwetu. In this chama kulipakwa hiyo mikate, ilikuwa imepakwa Blue Band. Mzuri, Blue Band poa sana. Mzuri, Blue Band safi. Now, tulikuwa tumeambiwa to behave. Wageni wakiwa, you don't pass there. Unangoja wageni wakienda ndio ile mkate ya Blue Band itabaki, utakula, si ndio? Juni hii mkate ni ya chama, si ya familia. So mimi na kierehere yangu safi tu ndio mimi. Wakati wageni wamekaa, mama wamekaa, sasa wameanza kuserve. Na mimi nikaenda nikaambia ule mama mwenye alikuwa anaongea, na mimi napenda mkate ya Blue Band by the way. Akaniambia, baba shika hii, nikapewa. Na nikapiga bite moja kubwa ndio nisiombwe. Nikasikia mama ameniambia hata kuje ingine iko hapa jikoni. Nikasema, kuna ingine iko jikoni, nakuja. Wapendwa, niliingia pale jikoni, nilifanyiwa kitu inaitwa resetting, factory resetting kidogo. Tulisema aje kuhusu mkate ya wageni na Blue Band. Alafu na wajaribu kulia, unaambiwa nisikie ukilia kuna wageni. So nile unalia na unasikia silent tone, ina vibrate tu simu hapa na uwezi toa. I was treated well. That time my mother alinichuna mpaka nikamuuliza, mama wewe ni mamangu kweli? Juu alinichuna. But as I left that place, my kid, hiyo mambo yangu ya utoto ilikuwa God allow me to eat bread with Blue Band mpaka inibo. Haijanibo bado. But I am eating it. What am I telling you? There is a time it was my prayer to have bread with Blue Band, however small. Example number 2. Kuna wakati ambapo, wakati KCP ilikuwa inatokea, I was one playful child. KCP kitokea, mimi nilikuwa nimecheza ball the whole day. Hata sijui kama KCP imetokea. Nilikuwa na realize niko njaa jioni wakati wa kwenda home. So tumecheza ball kabisa. Nasikia KCP imetokea. Lakini sijaona watu wa magazeti wakinitafuta. So si ati niko hapo kwa magazeti, so niko safe. Nikaenda home. Nimekula, nimerelax. Niko na kavumbi. Unajua ile kavumbi kenye unapaka mate side ya mbele huku nyuma inabaki. Hiyo. Babangu akaniuliza, "Umecheza leo?" Nikasema hapana, hata nilikuwa nangoja results. Okay. Unajua hata mimi nimeshinda hapa nikingoja results. Ulikuwa huku? Hata mimi nilikuwa nangojea huko nje. Nilichapwa kidogo tu, alafu nikaambiwa na hujapita, umekuwa mbaya sana. Nikakaa hivi, nikaanza kukua emotional. Mimi nilikuwa kwa hii category ya over 500. Si bado iko over 500 KCP. Babangu akaniambia umepata 342. Wewe sasa hata sioni ukimake it kwenda shule. Nikakuwa emotional mpaka hata nikakataa kuoga. But eventually gave me the marks and I had 415. So sasa mbona ulikuwa unasema 342? Ati nilikuwa na kuenjoy. Na sasa from any chapa ni unanipatia 415. So we had that negotiation until it got to a point that the next time my father was about to beat me because he ensured that I'm disciplined. So the next time he was about to discipline me, I had a prayer. Yes, kuba then nilienda nikacheza, nafaa kuprepare kwenda high school next week, but niko kuplay. Nacheza football bana. Nimekuwa goalkeeper, striker, midfielder, sasa hata nimekuwa coach. So in the evening I got home, I was going to be beaten thoroughly. But I made a very silly prayer. Do you know what silly prayer I made? Mungu nisaidie nisipochapwa leo, kesho siendi kucheza. Amen. Nikafika, babangu akaniambia endea zile viboko zako. Mimi naenda hapo nikifanya sasa, lakini leo nafariki. And I was going there. As I was coming back with the canes, surprisingly, someone came to visit us that evening. Na akatoka 10:30. mimi 10:30 nikuwe awake nafaa kuchapwa na nikuwe awake. Nilikuwa nimelala na nilikuwa nimelala ile ya hata nikiamshwa mimi siko but surprisingly I didn't keep my part of the deal. Kesho yake haraka upesi kwa uwanja. But that silly prayer that I was making that time saved me right there. How many times have you thought your prayer is silly? How many times? But God listens to even that prayer. So, whenever you feel like you are under a lot of pressure, take a step back, look at what you've been able to achieve so far. It will give you the impetus to move forward. Number 5. Number 5 ama 4? Number 4. Be ready for resistance. Be ready for resistance. What do I mean by resistance? Every time you want to change normal things, how normal things work. Unaona umezoea vitu zikifanyika hivi. Every time you want to make a new path, every time you want to reinvent, what happens is there is resistance. Resistance comes from the fear that you may not make it. Resistance comes from the community you are in, who will think otherwise about whatever you want to do. And resistance comes from your family history. I want to repeat that one. Resistance may come from your family history. Umekaa hivi ukisema kwetu hakuna mtu amefika university. Unaangalia possibility ya kuingia university na unakumbuka kila mtu hajawahi fika, unasema siwezi fika. I want to remind you today, in the process of reinventing yourself, one of the things you should be ready to face is resistance from within yourself, that is fear, and resistance from the society you are in. The idea that you cannot make it because somebody else has not made it. I insisted by starting with myself. Myself is the identity that you have. You. So what happens is this. Anytime you want to face your fears and grow and reinvent yourself, there will be resistance coming from yourself and from the society. But how do you overcome that one? It is overcome by one thing. Remembering it is myself. I was listening to some guy, and this guy was saying, as young as you are, I know ile miaka mmefika sahi, a few of you, or if not majority, have started considering boyfriend-girlfriend arrangements. And so, this guy was saying, more often than not, there's a question that is asked, what are we? You know that question? What are we? And this guy was saying that there is no I in we. So it's about what do I want myself and what do you want as yourself. What this means is this: whenever you face any form of resistance from within, you remember the I. Who are you? What have you come through so far to be where you are? And what can you achieve? Then when the society starts to remind you that you cannot make it, remember you are I. You know, there is a time when God was addressing people, well, who do I say I am? You say it is I am who has sent you. Okay? It is I. So anytime you are on resistance levels that you cannot do something, you cannot reinvent, restart, remember, you are yourself. You are I. It starts from you. Now, I want to conclude this with one thing. I will give you 3 stories, very quick stories, and then you will understand what it means to reinvent. Story number 1. One person that I really envy in their lives and whatever they do is this guy mwenye anaitonga Trevor Noah. You know Trevor Noah? Trevor Noah is a South African. But in America, he has one of the biggest shows there. One thing about Trevor Noah is that most of his lifetime alikuwa ule mtu wa kuambiwa, you are even African, you can't do anything. You can't do anything. You are a failure. But Trevor Noah never listened to those voices. He got through it. He's now a star in his capacity. Number 2, I like giving this story because it is a personal story. One thing that I keep on reminding myself is that I was not born to fail. At no point was I born to fail. If unakumbukanga the biology behind birth. Do you know the biology behind birth, you know? I know you understand what I mean by that. There was a lot of you. You guys were many. You mean your millions. In your millions, you beat, probably, let's say, at that time you were 5 million. You beat 4,999,999 to be you. You've, in your life, at some point when you are beginning life, you beat 4,999,999. Then you get, when you're alive here, you feel like you can't beat 5. Who are you? You once, when you were starting your life, you beat 4.9 million people to be you. But now you want to get here, you fear that you can't beat. Anytime mimi nafikanga wakati nasikia ni kama sita make, I remind myself I was number 1 in 4.99999 million. I can do this. So it is time you start reminding yourself that you were a winner at the beginning of your life. And if you made it that time, you can still do it now. I will finish with this one. And this is very interesting and easy. I gave how many points? 4. It is going to be my number 5 point. And it is simple. Growth can be fast or slow. And that is the final part I'm giving you. Growth can be fast or slow. So you don't have to grow like anyone else. You just have to grow at your own pace. You understand me? Don't compare yourself. Unaona mtu amemaliza campus, ashapata job, kidogo kidogo ashaanza kuendesha Demio, after a few years ndio squeeze anakuanga na gari serious. That is their path. And somebody was joking and saying anaendanga kwa harusi, wale wamama wanashinda wakimwambia you are next. Na yeye akaamua sasa akienda kwa matanga anapatana na hao mama anawaambia you are next. Technically, they forget that you are not in their timeline. You are on your own timeline. You don't have to live by the timelines that others are achieving. It can be slow, it can be fast, but either way, it is growth. What matters is growth. However the speed, what matters is their growth. You don't stagnate. You know very well that mosquitoes love stagnated water. So out of the stagnated waters, you will find frogs, you will find very noisy crickets, you will find the home for breeding of mosquitoes. But on any moving water, you will find fish. So growth can be slow or can be fast. But regardless, there should be growth. So don't be on somebody's timeline. Usikae hivi ukijimagine at all sasa you are a failure because your things are not moving fast. No. I was giving you a quick example. I was looking for a car. When I wanted to buy a car, I was looking for a car so much that it became a stress in me. Ilikuwa inanisumbua sana. Imagine uko na pesa lakini unatafuta gari na upati yenye unataka na uko na hiyo pesa. Sasa unatafuta loan, uko na hiyo pesa. So it kept troubling me so much. And every time I would go to a wedding and I have finished emceeing in church, I'm going to reception, inabidi nimeomba lift. Ilikuwa inaniuma. Alafu lift unapata saa zingine huyo mtu alijaza gari, umefinywa hapo kwa kiti ya nyuma, mko wa 4. Na unajua mimi sasa vile niko alafu mko wa 4. It was tough. So I kept on telling God, please get me the car that I'm looking for because I want that. It took me 6 months of getting an C here until I got that particular one that I wanted. And when I bought it, surprisingly, nilikuwa nimeambia Mungu in the last wedding I was emceeing, I told God, in the next wedding I'm emceeing, I want to MC that wedding in my own car. And true to that word, the next wedding, ilifika place paka na give up, naambia Mungu, by the God, si unakumbuka Feb 20th nafaa ku MC? Wewe si unakumbuka God, si unakumbuka Feb 20th bana ndio hii, alafu wewe hata unalenga hiyo story ni kama wewe fanya kitu. wewe fanya kitu. And like a father that God is truly is, on February 9th I got that car, such that when I was going to MC on February 20th I was in my car. And that is the time paka nilikuwa nauliza watu, mnaenda reception, mko na space? Niko na kama 4 hapa. Now I was niko na 4 hapa, tunaweza enda. Hata naweza fungua huko nyuma wengine wawili waingie. Tunaweza enda. What does that mean? Sometimes it will happen at God's time. It took 6 months or so, but it was still growth. Because when I told God I want to MC my next wedding in my car, it happened. So if the timeline doesn't work for you, it doesn't mean you have not grown. It means your 6 months are not over. I'm using 6 months in quotes. So this is the story I'm going to tell you. I want to remind you, I know you've heard this story before, but I'm still telling you the same story. Thank God it could have been worse. That's why I want to finish. Thank God it could have been worse. In the process of reinventing yourself, you may fall again. In the process of trying to build your better version, you may fall and fail again. But remember, at any situation when you will be feeling like a failure, thank God, because it could have been worse. What do I mean by this? One old man, I know you've heard this story, but I'll tell you again in my own way. One old man was known to tell people, thank God, it could have been worse. So this guy was ever that way. Ukienda hapo jamaa amepoteza mtoto. Imagine a kid, mtoto ameanguka kutoka kwa building amekufa. Alafu ile time watu wanaendelea kuangalia mtoto hapo chini anatoka damu, anawaangalia na anamwambia wadau, manze thank God it could have been worse. So guys will keep it in mind. Anakuja, you have just come from a vehicle, umelipishwa matatu ilikuwa 50 na hujapewa change ya 950. Umeshuka hivi na ndio gari imeenda na hata ukumbuki number plate, unapatana na huyo mzee hapo. Haki nimeendewa na change yangu ya dhao. Anakuambia hey, thank God it could have been worse. Huyu jamaa, if you find yourself umefukuzwa shule, you are going home, it's about to be exams and you are not in school. You have not completed your semester because there is no school fee. And of course, it is not because your parent did not want you to have it. It's because it is not there. Then anakuambia, hujafanya exam, so utarudia hii semester. Thank God, it could have been worse. Somebody is there, is burying his wife. He has lost his wife during childbirth. The wife was in the process of giving a life. And then the wife dies, the child dies. So there's a coffin for the small child and there's a coffin for the mother. So the man is standing next to those coffins, crying, knowing that my wife died in the process of giving life. And he's now lonely, and a father who is now ready to take care of the other small kids. And then the man comes next to him and anamwambia, mzee pole. But you know what? Thank God it could have been worse. So the young man decided to discipline this old man. Ache hiyo ufala. Hata nyinyi unaona vile mnakaa. Ache hiyo kitu bana. Hata ya kuna feelings. Ache hiyo mchezo bana. We have to deal with him. So these guys decided to know. Unajua uzuri wa hao wazee, kina director, kina elder pale, kina Eric, they will tell you. They will tell you that they usually maintain paths that they follow. Kama anaendanga na hii barabara, mostly they will do that. Because after all, they create routines that become part of them. Kuna watu hata ukijaribu kuhepa jam na yeye, anakuambia situmiangi hiyo barabara. Kuna wakati nilikuwa nalala kwa matatu, unalala ukiamka, unapata uko nyuma ya hizi mabarabara za huko nyuma. Hadi unaanza kuangalia hivi. Bado tunaenda tao, unauliza ule mtu mmekaa, bado tunaenda tao ati yeye. Ati lakini mimi situmiangi route, anakuambia utafika tu tuko sawa. So this mzee used to use a particular path on his way every evening. So the young men decided to deal with him and they planned appropriately. Wakaagri mpaka mwenye atashika ule mzaeka upondo kuja hapa. Wamediscuss mpaka mwenye atampiga ile kofia macho kwanza, ile kumtoa macobwebs hiyo. Washa agree, they have agreed, they have planned, it is elaborate. Na wameshapanga hadi mwenye atamgonga ile nyaunyo moja safi. They have planned, they had planned to beat this old man senseless. So the man is walking home in the evening after the errands of the day, and as he is heading home, he gets to a place, anaanguka kwa shimo. Alianguka kwa shimo because hii shimo ilikuwa inachimbwa ikuwe kisima cha maji kama kaboa hole. Alafu wase vile waliona hawatamaliza that day, wakafunikia juju na tuvijiti na nyasi wakuje kumalizia kesho. And in this path, huyo mzee akawa ametembea kidogo to the side, akaanguka kwa ile shimo, amevunjika mguu, anapiga nduru huko chini. Meanwhile vijana wamemngoja kule mbele wadili na mzee. Vijana wanaona 7:30, huyu mzee apitishangi 8. Tuende tutafute barabara mali tunampata. Kaumanie hapo. Bado utaweza mpiga kofi ukiwa niko sawa, iko fine. So they decided walking on that path. And in the walking, they had the sound familiar. Ile sauti ya ule mzee, thank God. Ako huko chini kwa shimo. Anapiga nduru, somebody help me, somebody help me. Vijana wakambiana, sikatambe, tunaweza mwaga udongo hapa ndani tufunike. Akasema hapana, lazima tuone tukimvaa ndiye aache hiyo ufala. So what do? Let's pull him out of the hole and beat him here. Wakarusha kamba vizuri, wakambia mzee shikilia kamba, wakavuruta yeye. The moment amefika juu, hana mguu moja ako hapa, anafika the moment amefika, anawaambia, thank God, it could have been worse. Na vijana wakamwangalia wakamwambia mzee, enyewe thank God, juu huko mbele, it could have been worse. What am I passing across to you today? That regardless of your growth, your invention, your journey and failures, you need to look back and say, thank God. Because after all, whatever you've got through to this far, it could have been worse if you didn't make any step. So the fact that you actually started in your process of God and growth, you need to always thank God because it could have been worse. That's all for today. God bless you.
What do we say to Okari? Another round of claps for Okari, a better one. Thanks so much, Okari, for your time and having found time to talk to us. Now I'm going to call our elder to say something.
Asante. Wangapi wamebarikiwa? I can remember, nasikika? I can remember that life is just like a butterfly. If you try to chase it, hautamfikia. Lakini saa zingine inafanya nini? Itakuja hapa. Una remember hiyo? Saa ile unajaribu kufukuza, hautafanya nini? Lakini unashtukia, it means a lot. Asante. Nimebarikiwa hata kuliko nyinyi. Because hii kichwa haijai. Hakuna ile kichwa itafanya nini? Bado zitaingia tu. So my brother, asante. Tumebarikiwa sana. And one day utakuja kwa mpenzi ya Mwenyezi Mungu. So elder, I think we have done a wonderful. I think you have got good friends. One of them is he's multipurpose, ni MC. Amesema vitu mingi, amebarikiwa na vitu mingi. Multipurpose. Kama uko na ruhusa unamuita, unasikia. So God's time is the best time. In fact, my brother, iko kitabu moja amenikumbusha, lakini it is for another day. Let us be together. Let us walk in the presence of God. Tuone utukufu ya Mungu. Asanteni sana. Karibu sana. Umesema hujapata? Utapata tu. Mungu atakubariki. Bariki. Unaweza kutembea huko Nyanza. If you go, you can come to Suba. Yes. Otherwise, elder, I'm happy. Asanteni sana.
I think all of us, we've learned something. Reinventing myself was the topic of the day. And now we know how we are going to reinvent ourselves. We will still have more of these talks and sharpen our talents. Let's sharpen our talents because God has created us for a purpose, and each and everybody here, there's something they can do and you can do it better. I sometimes feel that Okari is in a wrong profession. Tukiwa job, tunamwambianga uko kwa wrong profession. Get out of this company, go do other things. I remember that when we had a corporate function, all the MDs were there and all the directors were there, and Okari was given mic. And he talked and he delivered, and even the MD said that, are you really in a right profession? So do it, mpaka mutafikiria you are in a wrong profession. There's something you can do better. Thank you once again, Okari. Let me also give this chance to one of our sponsor Eric, to say a word.
I know it's almost lunchtime and we might be tired, but he who gets good words sticks to them until he dies. That's what the Nigerian says. Mr. Okari is my neighbor from home. My home and his home is less than a kilometer. But we didn't know that we are neighbors until this moment we're in this church. I want to take you back to school. And when I was in high school, we learned about Hess law for those who loved physics and mathematics. And the Hess law states that the end product is not determined by the path taken. So your maturity period and your accomplishments cannot be like Elder Phillips, because everybody has got his own time of maturity. So your end product is not like mine, and the paths are not the same. But I want to advise one thing again, that it's now necessary for us to value our social capital. By that I mean that your friends, your associates, those whom you look upon will determine where you are going to. So invest in good friends. Just a rough say, we all have mobile phones, in evil. But have you ever scrolled your phone, try to look for a good friend who can bail you out with 10 bob and you don't see anyone you can call? Is that a fact? You can have a mobile phone and with the good contacts of people. But when you're in crisis, you'll never talk to all those people in your menu. So look for good social capital. I want to thank you for coming here. And we'll be doing this constantly with our hearts and the spirits. Let's count ourselves lucky, because other people do not get the information we are getting. Use this time correctly for your future. Invest most of your times in what you are getting today. That will save and will give us a path to follow. I really want to encourage you that the distinction, the difference between good and bad comes from what you are consuming in your mind. So try very hard to remain positive. Pray unto God that when you want to reinvent your life, let God be the foundation of reinventing your life, not you. With our strength alone, we cannot make it. And this far the Lord has brought us. We will make it. Elder, I thank you too for the opportunity, and we believe that the best is coming. In the few years to come, we must make a difference in this church. We must make a difference in our community. We must make a difference where we are schooling, whatever we are doing. That's when reinvention takes place. That's when it's at the optimum. So I pray and thank you once again, my brother, that this is not the end of it. This is just the beginning. We'll call you for more programs. We will share our ideas, but we want to make a stabilized community here. Let's stand for the Lord. Let's keep him at our course all the time. God bless us.
To those of us who have joined late, we were recording this live. I think you can go to our page so that you can get what he has talked. He has talked a lot. He has given us almost 5 points on how we can reinvent ourselves. So still, you can go to that page and get what we have discussed. So the next level, I'm going to give just Teacher Kobe, just say hi to us. He's been part of this group. And we have our clerk, Washington. We have our PM. Just say hi. Thanks so much. So we are a full house. We are really supported by them. If you see them surrounding us, and the elder and the sponsor getting time to be with us, it means we are loved. They are ready to support us. So it is us to avail ourselves and hear what they are telling us, because we've gotten this opportunity. Yeah, this opportunity, watu wengine hawana this opportunity, you have gotten. So use it well and be part of this group as you reinvent yourself. So I'm going to give one of us to give vote of thanks. We pray. Teacher Woshi will pray with us. Then we can just leave and think we are coming back in the afternoon for practices. Yes, no, we are not coming for practices today. We will only have the council members remaining behind. The rest of us, we have off today. We will come tomorrow, Monday, for practices. So I will give one of us to give vote of thanks, then Washington will pray with us as we leave. So Rainy, kindly come and give vote of thanks.
Good afternoon. Saseni, mbona umeboeka? Saseni. Actually, personally, I'm blessed for the words he has added unto my life. Jo, like, nani anatoka hapa na kitu? Nani anatoka hapa na kitu? So I can say, thank you so much for coming, and I think you've made a positive impact to everyone here. Personally, I've learned that I need to start making friends of value. I can say in my contacts, I only have 3 friends. The rest tunajuana. So like, it's true. Personally, I have 3 friends. Watu wenye najua, like, I can call them and like tell, hata kama watanisaidia, they can give me a listening ear. Na najua like kitu wenye nimemwambia sitasikia kwingine, najua. So like, in my 2022 vision board, I made it like one of my plans to make like more friends. And when I say friends, people wenye wanaweza make a positive impact on your life. So watu wangapi wako na marafiki?